The Legends Invitational Trot, $15,000 purse. Let's take a look at the field page. You know, we're perhaps overlooking the horses a little bit here. We're talking specifically about the drivers. And what a who's who. Doug Brown, downtown Doug Brown, Trot and Trev Ritchie, Dave Miller, Dave Wall, Wally Hennessy, Ron Wapel, Steve Condren, the 7 drivers. But a very good field of 7 squaring off here today. These are very accomplished trotters, most of them. A lot of experience on the half-mile ovals, racing for a nice chunk of change. $15,000 today. Yeah,
real nice purse here. And we've got a Steve Boston's trainee again, who is taking support 9-5 on number 5 Nebraska Jack. Been racing on the half-mile ovals at the Raceway at Western Fair, and most recently at Grand River, winning the preferred 3 by a head. Wally Hennessy gets that drive, and 6-5 right now on Nebraska Jack, who is the current favorite as the field's getting ready to step out onto the track.
Let's get a look at them on post parade. Leading us off will be Azukar, a 7-year-old gelded son of Crazed. Martin Lachance co-owns with Marielle Enberg. Marielle is a name that folks in Ontario have probably heard as well. She's involved with the Racing Under Saddle program. Martin trains this one. Doug Brown, he was the kingpin, the undisputed kingpin of Canadian harness racing for several years, and he's got a big shot with this one. A 3-time winner this year, 28 lifetime wins.
Number 2 is Let's Leave 'Em, a 9-year-old gelded son of Angus Hall, owned by Sarah Town, trained by Janice Hubbard and Trevor Ritchie. Back in the sulky, it's been quite some time, but Trevor Ritchie, a winner of over $70 million and an upcoming inductee into the Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame, will drive this 3-time winner this season. 26 overall for Let's Leave 'Em. The veteran, the 9-year-old, will start from post 2 with Trevor Ritchie.
It's Miller time from post 3 with Dominum Deo, an 8-year-old son of Donato Hanover. Alan Kiefer, a local owner. Mary Pollock, the trainer, having a solid season. And this guy, a 5-time winner this year, 21 lifetime trips to the winner's circle.
Next up will be number 4, AJ Cash, a 4-year-old gelded son of Dewey Cheatham and Howe, owned by Paul Kelly and Mark Winnicott. Winnicott is the trainer, and Dave Wall, we just heard a great story from him. He's going to look to add to his bank of stories here this afternoon, the Legends Day Trot, steering AJ Cash. Dave Wall, winner of over 7,200 races in his career, driving AJ Cash, who's won 9 of 17 this year for a 53% winning percentage.
Trainer Steve Boston's hoping to come right back here with the number 5 Nebraska Jack. He'll be handled by Wally Hennessy, who we heard from earlier this afternoon.
Number 6 is Lady Katarina, a 7-year-old mare owned by Elizabeth Fair, trained by Alan Fair, and Ron Waples is in the sulky. Always a fan favorite and always got a smile on his face. Ron Waples drove the winners of over $75 million during his career, and he's driving Lady Katarina, who's won 4-14 this season. She was a winner most recently 3 back.
And rounding out the field from post 7 will be All Out Henry. They do score 7 wide here at Clinton. A 7-year-old gelding who has been very consistent this year with 10 on-the-board finishes and 17 starts. Pam Forgy owns and trains. She's from nearby Goderich. And Steve Condren is in the driver's seat here this afternoon. All Out Henry, currently one of the long shots at odds of 9-1. There's a look at our parade marshal for this afternoon, all decked out and looking good. And the drivers getting a really nice round of applause in behind us as we meet the field for the Legends Day Invitational Trot. They'll be going postward in just a moment. Let's take a quick commercial timeout, and we'll be back to dive into today's Legends Day Trot and see if we can pick out a winner next. Just another look at the combined career statistics of our 7 drivers today. 55,000 plus in career wins and a hefty 700 million plus in career earnings. Incredible. Mark, we have a winner today. We've been monitoring the comments online, and our winner chosen at random is coming to us from south of the border.
It is Andy Wright from Ohio. Congratulations. You are the winner of this Legends Day 2019 t-shirt, which features signatures from all the legends here today. So congratulations to Andy Wright on being selected as our winner. And thanks so much for tuning in. To everybody that commented, we appreciate your viewership, and we're getting close now to the Legends Day Trot, and we still want to hear from you, so let us know who you're picking here in this year's edition of the Legends Day Trot.
Who knows, maybe we'll see Andy at the Little Brown Jug in September, and hopefully we'll be there. An event we always look forward to each and every year. A look there at the number 5 Nebraska Jack, Wally Hennessy, with a live drive here from that Steve Bosson's barn that we said has been firing on all cylinders this year. Just winning back in the 9th race in that OSS division with Raising Royalty. Nebraska Jack this year certainly in good form.
Certainly is. 5 wins and 18 starts this year. Has won 2 of his last 3. Most recently at Grand River, as we talked about a little earlier. And I'm not surprised to see this one at 7-5 on the board. Number 3, Dominion Deo. Dave Miller driving this one. Currently 3-1 for trainer Mary Pollock, and has been posting very consistent top results. And in fact, has hit the board in his last 4. And has won 2 of those last 4 starts. Comes in from Woodbine Mohawk Park, where he'd been competing in some claiming events. So Dominion Deo getting back onto the half-mile track, and he might like that because his last victory came over the half-mile over at Flamborough.
One good thing that the Nebraska Jack has going for him is tactical speed. There some speed on the inside of the gate as well. Azucar, Doug Brown, I think, will be trying to put him into play. Very consistent, and his recent form's been very good. Let's leave him. I expect this guy to be the one that could step up here. Trot and Trev Ritchie. It's been a while since he's driven, but he truly was a magician with trotters.
The master with them, right? So this is a Trot event. Looking calm, cool, and collected, getting set. Trevor Ritchie back into the sulky, Hambletonian winner with Yankee Paco.
You mentioned calm and cool and collected. Yeah. Remember that day? He wins it by a measured half a length, and he's just statuesque. I mean, it was incredible how cool he was.
You watch back any of those classic films with Trevor Ritchie, and it's exactly what you would see. Just think about so many of those top trotters that he drove. Peaceful Way, of course, another one that he had so much success with, and he's going to try and get Let's Leave Him, a 9-year-old with plenty of experience. And the one thing that stands out, these are all trotters that have found the winner's circle this season, so they all know what winning tastes like, and a very veteran group here in this Invitational.
And Trevor could drive a pacer as well. We're making it sound like he can only drive trotters. Remember Frugal Gourmet? He almost pulled the upset of the great J. Lobel back in the 1987 North America Cup. So we are almost set to go. Who's your pick to win?
I am going to go with Dave Miller and Dominion Deo, number 3. 7-2 currently.
I'm going to give the call to Azucar. I think he takes advantage of post 1 for Doug Brown and Trevor Martin-Lachance. Trotters are lining up for the Legends Day Invitational Trot, a purse of $15,000. And we've got one acting up in the backstretch, the number 7 All Out Henry. So I believe we're going to have a reformation. Yes, we're just going to have a slight delay. So Trot, the starter Brad Pittock will likely go around with the gate and allow the trotters to reform in the backstretch. So a couple of more moments here before we get going. If this were one of the grassroots divisions, there might be some concerns about horses' behavior and how they'll handle it. These old veteran trotters shouldn't be any of the worse for wear.
Well, that's what I was thinking, though, right on cue after I talk about what a veteran group we got here. And one of them doesn't want to turn and go to the gate, but looks like that won't be an issue the second time around. That was number 7 All Out Henry and Steve Condren. So if there's one thing about this race, you'd like to see everybody right on the gate. You hope everybody behaves and we get to see a great race with so many legendary drivers.
All Out Henry, it is surprising. He's a horse that I saw all winter long race in London over the track there, and I don't remember anything like this happening with him. So an anomaly, I'm sure, and I'm sure when they get him turned around, he'll be fine. As far as the odds, 6-5 still on Nebraska Jack. Do you think that's an overbet?
I think it's probably about right, what we're seeing here this afternoon already with the Steve Bosson's training winning just before, and with the form that this one shows, wins in 2 of his last 3, so that seems right on.
For those wagering it today, an added incentive today, all Superfecta Day. Only 1 or 2 races did not offer Superfecta today because of short fields, but They don't normally have superfectas on the wagering menu here at Clinton, so today a little bit of an addition to the wagering menu, and so fans will get a chance here to try their hand at that. And if you were playing the superfecta, would you look at keying a particular horse on top, or how would you play it?
I think if you really like that number 5 Nebraska Jack, why not? Because it could be a bit of a wide open affair underneath. If you haven't made up your mind, you better make it up quick though, because here we go.
Tim O'Connor is getting set to call the action for the Legends Day Invitational 2019 from Clinton.
62 lifetime victories between them. It's post time for the Legends Day Trot. This field is now in motion, and here they come. They're off, and trotting on the run early was Lady Katarina, but they're 4 across the track leaving. Doug Brown along the inside. Dave Miller takes the lead with Dominum Deo. Still coming on the far outside, Nebraska Jack and Wally Hennessy. Wally Hennessy takes the lead with Nebraska Jack. Racing in second is Dominum Deo. Doug Brown is back up and at it with Azakar. Third on the outside, backing off now, looking for a seat in front of Trevor Ritchie, and Let's Leave Him. 2 more lengths back to Dave Wall and AJ Cash. They reach that opening quarter, 29 seconds flat. Racing in 6th position is Steve Condren, All Out Henry. Ron Waples at the back of the bus with Lady Katarina. We've got some early outside action as they come by us the first time. Wally Hennessy continues to show the way with Nebraska Jack. On the outside, Azakar, Dougie Brown trotting at that one. Pocket sitting third is Dominum Deo and Dave Miller. Up and at it is Let's Leave 'Em. Trevor Ritchie coming on here, racing in 4th. The half trotted in 59 and 2. Third out is AJ Cash and Dave Wall. Saving ground on the inside is All Out Henry. They're paired up down the backside. The game is on now. Azakar and Doug Brown put a nose in front. Battling back along the inside, Nebraska Jack. Still coming on is Let's Leave Him. Saving ground along the cones, Dominum Deo. They reach the 3/4 mile marker, 1:29 and 4. It's anybody's race. The Legends turn for home. On the outside, Azakar, Doug Brown putting a head in front. Here comes Trevor Ritchie. Let's Leave Him. Dominum Deo up the inside. Dominum Deo. Dave Miller in a thrilling edition of the Legends Day Trot.
A thrilling finish to the Legends Day Trot, and it appears up the inside, Dominum Deo and Dave Miller got to the line first, but we're going to need the photo finish camera to determine who the winner was in the 2019 edition of the Legends Day Trot. A great finish as they swing for home, 4 of them all with a shot. As we'll take a look back at the stretch drive, Azakar coming on the outside. Wally Hennessy and Nebraska Jack had led them into the lane. The rail opens up, Miller scoots through. You've got Azakar and Doug Brown on the outside. Far outside, that's Let's Leave Him and Trevor Ritchie. 4 across, and we're going to get a good look coming to the line.
It was tight, folks, but
Dominum
number 3,
Deo,
Dominum Deo.
Dave Miller, they get it, and they take the 2019 Legends Day Trot. So 3-1-2 is your top 3 finishers. Dominum Deo, Dave Miller get the victory, finishing second, number 1, Azakar and Doug Brown. Third, number 2, Let's Leave Him and Trevor Ritchie. As we take one more look at the stretch drive. And Nebraska Jack, who was the favorite, was looking very comfortable on the lead, got confronted there, heading to 3/4, and as they all swarmed in, eventually surrenders it in the lane and drifts off the cones enough that Dave Miller had plenty of room. He was saving ground, was in a real nice spot, took advantage of that post 3 starting spot to get out of there well and to be able to sit on the leader, or I should say the favorite's back, and gets the victory in the Legends Day Trot. So David Miller, we talked about all these drivers being at different stages in their careers. Some of them retired, some of them driving occasionally, and then there's David Miller, who is racing in the sport's biggest contests. And he takes a day off from the grind of the Grand Circuit to the heart of the stakes season, and he makes a trip here to Clinton Raceway this afternoon, and he wins the Legends Day Trot. His second visit to Clinton Raceway. He was here 2 years ago, taking part in what was the final race for Hall of Famer and what many would consider the greatest driver of all time, John Campbell. Dave got the invitation from earlier on, and he was more than happy to. And he steers Dominum Deo, an 8-year-old gelding, to victory. And how's this for a great sight? You don't see this after very many races, if ever, but this is a special day as all the legends bring these trotters back in front of the grandstand and receive a round of applause from the great crowd here today at Clinton Raceway. So a round of applause for everyone, but an extra salute to Dominum Deo and Dave Miller. As the 8-year-old gelding, trained by Mary Pollock, owned by Alan Kepfer, collects his 6th win in 23 starts this year. That's career win number 21, and has now won 3 of his last 5. Greg Blanchard is headed over to the winner's circle. He is going to catch up with winning driver David Miller in just a moment. As the presentation takes place in the winner's circle for Dominum Deo, winning the $15,000 Legends Invitation Trot. So Dominum Deo back in the winner's circle here at Clinton Raceway. And once they take care of the traditional photos, David Miller is going to chat with Greg Blanchard. And kind of fitting that our t-shirt contest winner came from Ohio, and the driver that wins the Legends Day Trot also from Ohio. So the Buckeye State having a nice afternoon here at Clinton Raceway. Greg Blanchard's going to scoot in there and catch up with David Miller. All right, let's throw things to Greg Blanchard with winning driver David Miller.
All right, joined now by Dave Miller. Dave, what a horse race.
Yeah, that was a good race. Yeah, there was a lot of action the whole way.
Just walk us through how the race unfolded.
My horse felt good behind the gate and he got off on the right foot, and I landed right where I was hoping I would end up, in the 2-hole, and he felt good the whole way and found room top of the stretch, and he got it done.
When you got room, it looked like you thought you were going to be an easy winner, and then the outside horses started to dig in a little closer than you thought it was going to be?
Yeah, it was. Doug's horse came first up there at the half, and they raced up the backstretch, and his horse hung in there and still had some left. Like I said, it wasn't an easy race.
We thought, you being from Ohio, that this might feel comfortable to you, an atmosphere like this. Is that the case?
Yeah, this is great. You know what? I'm so glad I get to be part of it. It's something that I'm very proud to race with these guys. I looked up to all of them.
And even though you're competing against those guys and doing so over the years, there's a lot of mutual respect, is there not?
Yeah, I hope so. yeah, you know, they're a great bunch of guys, and you know what, they're well deserved to be here.
For sure. Well said. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dave Miller winning this year's edition of the Legends Trot with Dominum Dale in what was a great horse race from start to finish. And what a way to cap it off. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you very much, Greg. Great to hear from David Miller. We talked a little bit about it earlier during our broadcast. That classic smile you always see on his face, and it's usually a little bit bigger when he's in the winner's circle. And why wouldn't it be? A place he's very familiar with. 12,700 and now 18 career victories for the Hall of Fame reinsman, David Miller. Wonderful look at Clinton Raceway. We're going to step aside one last time, and when we come back, we're going to wrap things up on what has been a fantastic afternoon for the 2019 Legends Day at Clinton Raceway.
And welcome back as we get set to put the finishing touches on Legends Day 2019. Mark, we couldn't have asked for a better horse race. I mean, lots of action start to finish. A little surprised Nebraska Jack wasn't able to hold on a little bit better than he was.
Yeah, he was looking pretty strong on top of the lead. Did get confronted, like David Miller mentioned. Doug Brown and Azikar came first up and weakened in the stretch, and that opened up the rail as David Miller was just saving ground, and his plan ended up working out, and he comes through to win. And that chuckle that he gave you when you said about it being a tighter finish than maybe he expected, it was a fantastic finish, maybe one of the best we've ever seen in the Legends Trot.
And we thought, you know, Dave Miller, he's a guy that's still driving on a regular basis at the top level. He might have a little bit of an advantage coming in. Do you think that played into it at all?
Potentially, but I also think post position as well was a big factor, and he got the right trip there behind the leader. Paid $9 though, so if that was your angle, you got a real nice return.
Dave Miller, his first Legends Day victory in his second trip here. I don't think it's going to be his last time. He enjoys it. We certainly enjoy being here. We're glad you could watch us today. Again, we want to thank COSA, the Central Ontario Standardbred Association, for sponsoring this series of races. Our final stop will be at Grand River Raceway in Elora, Ontario for Industry Day on Monday, August the 4th. So circle that one on your calendar as well. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and so long from Clinton Raceway.